So I started filming like a week ago on this film, and it started getting chopped up into little chunks, and plans kept changing, and things on the planner kept, you know, finding more stuff wrong with it as I went. And instead of me spending like 8 hours of editing trying to make it all make sense, I'm gonna kind of go back and make more of a recap type video, maybe using some of the video I have just to explain it. But so that's where we're at, folks. Bear with me here. Roll intro. Looks like somebody's got plans out here today. So things are starting to already change. We got the planters inside we're working on. There's Daryl. Tom's backing up the row stalker. Probably can't see it. So the weather's changed enough that we should be able to get a few things done in the field. And that's, if you see my last videos, that's the row stalker. We don't have a lot of gravity, but it's for our ridge till. I'm going to take this guy, hook up to our vertical till. We got some vertical till we might be able to get done. I'll go mess with this. I'm filming you. Daryl, don't you know you're a star? Yeah. Well, because people like entertainment. You're great entertainment. Oh. I'm trying to up my ladies that watch this channel, and I figured filming you would help that.
You want these doors shut now?
No, I got to get this out of here. Man, they got it kind of muddy. Yeah, I'm not that good looking. Oh, man. I got to get a glove for it. We'll figure something out instead of pulling one. Still got some on the combines, but I don't want to climb anything, so I'll get the old 3000 out. Put it on there, because that'll probably be the one that's going to stay on there. Okay. So yeah, Tom's taking Daryl. He's following them to a field. They're gonna get that set up and going on a gravity field just to get started doing stuff like that. And then I'm gonna go, if you remember my last video where we sub-tilled, I plan on going there first with this vertical till to kind of get those clouds break up. What we're doing is we got pretty decent shot of rain in the forecast coming up this weekend. And some of the ground conditions are good enough to start stuff like that and do some light tillage. And so we got a day and a half maybe to get some of this done. So I'm not going to clean off this tractor and do a bunch of stuff. Just going to go when we can go and go from there. You think you can take me? Stupid cow. So this is a Landau 33-foot vertical till tool. I've said in the past it's kind of a hybrid disc. It's just a little less aggressive. It doesn't turn the soil quite as much. Now I gotta go pick up that jack in the back. Ready to go try it? He's messing with the scrapers. Well, we're moving into the field. So I forgot there is an important update for that Starfire 3000 GPS receiver I put on. So hopefully it keeps downloading as I'm moving. Some people live their life a quarter mile at a time. Me, I download software updates while I'm driving. I knew it could be updated. So I'm doing our ends first here because this is where the most boulders are, the chunks that came up, because it's just where I met and lifted up the ripper out of the ground, or subtiller out of the ground. And it's like best case scenario happened this winter as we got snow on it, because it looks chunky now, but you go over it with this thing and you can't see it from here, but behind it, I mean, it's smoothing it out really nice. So plus we're supposed to get a good fair amount of rain this weekend, which will even help this out. That's why we're out here doing this one now, is if we ever have any more clotting issues, we can get a little more moisture on them, and then yeah, it'll break them up even more if we have to make another pass. So I got started here, see what kind of job it's doing. Remember, this is VT, not disking, so we're not gonna throw dirt, we're just kind of slightly just breaking up the clod and trying to level it out. See how this is gonna work. Got moisture. So the goal is when we come in here to plant, we'll still go in between the rows. I've just never done this with the VT before. I might try just a different angle just to see if it does any different. See if it's better or worse. If not, I'll stick with this one. It doesn't look bad. I don't know, it looks about the same either way I cut it. Just kind of going around and checking.
Or it's not more better if it crashed into
pivot? Yeah, we don't want to crash into the pivot. That's always...
What?
That always ruins the day. You're it.
What?
You're it. You're it. You're it. So you probably noticed it's a little later in the day. Well, got started rolling, and I had Garrett with me. Things were going good and relaxing and nice, and I just decided to put down the camera for a little while. It was kind of one of those sorry, not sorry type things. But yeah, it just felt good to get in the field again for the kind of the first time for 2021. But I won't leave you hanging. Tomorrow we still got to run this. I'm actually finishing up the pivot I started on when we got the one we got here. We will catch you tomorrow. Welcome back. Today we put in a strip tiller here inside the shop. There's supposedly an update. If you remember those fur openers that we put on this one last year, the floating ones, they're coming out to update them. I don't know much about it, so we'll see what happens after they go through it, I guess. My brother's actually hooking up to the other one right now. He's outside the glass right here. But what he's gonna do is follow our row stalker, that thing we were hooking up to the other day. And cause that one goes along, kind of uproots those root balls, and then we like to go in there and shove those and kind of do a little more tillage in the way. We're doing this on our bean ground right now since we don't put on any fertilizer with the strip tiller for that. So that's what he's gonna do, get that done. Just another little thing to get out of the way, kind of before this rain sets in. How's it look?
I don't know. Rusty.
If it spins, it's a win. Oh, that's a pretty sight right there. We spent a lot of money to get a YouTube thumbs up on that one. Good morning, Johnny Tractor. Walk out here a little ways, see what we did. So the idea behind, yeah, these VTs is we kind of treat it like a no-till. We're still gonna try to find the old row and go in between it, because that's still going to be your optimal seed bed. Because some of these roots, not here so much where we subtilled, but down there where the other half we didn't subtill, there's still going to be some root balls on the ground that didn't get pulled out. It just kind of tills that in between the row a little bit. So hopefully with this will be softened up, which is kind of what the goal was, and go from there. But now we're going to go to a different field. We got a field that it's a pivot that rolls into a gravity irrigated field, and we want to no-till into the pivot part, but the gravity part is kind of hard to do because you'll be offsetting and you'll be going into the valley of that old row. And so I'm going to go up there and smooth that out with this, since we want those rows to go straight through, because if you could kind of jog over and go back on top of that ridge, we don't like doing that. It's harder to do, and you got a row that jogs over. So that's what I'm going to do with this, is go smooth that out, since it's a short gravity field instead of ridge tilling that one. So I kind of made a mark on my southern border over there. Now I'm going to kind of choose my angle, how I kind of want to hit this. I want to make it so it's somewhat smooth, but yet enough to kind of level these ridges out. I can just do a quick line probably. Quick line is just an easy way, especially for tillage, just to make a quick line for your AB, especially if it's not a permanent one, like for planting or something. So one of the nice things about these VTs or a hybrid disc or whatever you call it is you can go a little faster than what a conventional disc is, because if you have a regular disc, they'll tend to throw it more and you'll create a wave usually. It's been my experience or our experience that usually discing with a regular disc, 5 mile an hour is about max. Maybe there's some newer ones out there that you can go faster, but usually the way they are designed, they throw dirt. Well, if you start throwing too much dirt, you're going to start creating uneven waves if you don't get it set just right, and that can really screw up your ground. And what I mean by waves, you'll kind of get little ridges out there the width of your disc that kind of go up and down, and that's not good. These things do a nice job of keeping it nice and level, and then it's got a rock or a clod crumbler in the back that kind of breaks them up, and I'll get out here in a little bit, especially on bean ground. It just makes it look nice. So I've done a little bit here. Let's get out. For those of you new to the channel, we live in irrigation country, and this part right here is actually gravity irrigated. So we'll lay pipe along that north end and we'll run water down these rows until we get to where you can see where I'm maybe stopping. There's a pivot on that side that wipes around. So not all this field is gravity irrigated. So what I'm doing is the gravity irrigated, if that makes sense. But what we want to come up here and do and just kind of level these out. This does a pretty decent job of leveling things out here. What I really like about it is how even it does. Sometimes discs will leave more residue in some sections and less and more, just because of the way it's hard to get them set perfect. Where these, where they're not moving as much, tend to be more even, so that's maybe kind of a plus to these. There's also plus and negatives to everything, but this is a rock clod crumbler, so you kind of get some of the bigger chunks around there. These will come along and kind of pack it up, firm it up, make a nice firm seed bed, and if we get moisture on it, that'll be even nicer and should make a pretty decent seed bed, which is what we're after. Maybe we should get some action shots from back here, huh? Roll music. Field done here. I'm just going to do the ends, kind of smooth up the edges here a little bit where you kind of see some tracks. That way when we come to plant this, hopefully it's still smooth. I got another pivot corner I'm going to do over there, but it's corn stalk, so I'll probably do that one twice. It takes a little bit more to size up the residue and get it to the shape we want it. And then if we get that rain on it, it just makes it work great. So this is just a pivot corner here once again. As you can see, the pivot standing over there. It's just a spot where the pivot can't reach, that we lay out pipe to water these few rows over here. And it looks really good the first pass over. It's just the second time over, kind of just finishes off those ridges and evens it out just a little bit more and makes it a little bit nicer. So we got a ridge field here that I'm just doing the ends on to kind of feather out these ridges, so when we turn around it's easier. But it's not really fun. Let's go tear up the next thing. Ooh. We are in something different now. So I didn't have to do the next field I thought I was going to have to do. My brother didn't want me to do it, and he's kind of the boss of me. So it's his anniversary now, and so he took off a little early. So I'm relieving him of the strip tiller. And what this is, it's a gravity field and it's going to go to soybeans, so we're not putting on any fertilizer ourselves. We do put fertilizer on our beans, but they'll come in and spread dry. 1152O is the kind of the blend with maybe some potassium or potash in with it, whatever you call it. That's what this field will be. The reason why we like to do it early as we can is because we're getting that rain coming in. Daryl is over there. I don't know if you can see him, but he's row stocking with our 6-row stock chopper. That kind of comes up, chops these stalks up, kind of gets the root balls out of the way, and this guy just comes along and sweeps the rest and does a little more tillage on top of that old row, making a pretty nice seed bed. This is a little trashier than normal, so we've been talking about possibly doing it twice. It doesn't look bad in the row, so I don't know if letting it rain on it and then coming back, or just seeing what the rain does, because maybe that will break down that trash, that residue a little bit more from last year's crop. I don't know, we'll see. Just scratching the surface of getting started here on getting the fields ready to go for plant 21. This is just a couple days here that we've able to get rolling. It dried out enough and the soil's fit enough to do some of these things we want to get started. We typically don't start strip tilling with fertilizer until about April 1st or later, just so we don't apply that nitrogen out there too early, because nitrogen can leach and we can lose it. So we try to apply it as comfortably close to planting as we can with the strip tillers that way. So that's why we're not, again, doing it with this bean ground. So we'll have more videos coming out here as spring progresses along, so hopefully I can answer more questions as we go along. But if you have ones now, feel free to ask them below and I'll try to answer them, or bring them up in a video coming up here. Hey guys, thanks for watching, and I appreciate it, and we'll catch you on the next one, Lord willing. Later.